Well, one of the interesting things about your book is that you touch all the bases that one would expect to see in a book like this. The 1911, the Smith & Wesson hand ejector series, the Glock. But every now and again, there's one in there that's kind of a poser, like the high standard Sentinel. Yep. Now, they haven't made Sentinels in years. It was that aluminum alloy-based, well, they had steel versions too, I suppose. But that 22 rimfire revolver that appeared in so many different guises over the years from high standard. How did that gun make it in this book?
It got in there because, while it may not have been a gun that set the world on fire, it was extremely significant in the standpoint of mid-20th century handgun design. If you look at it, double-action revolver mechanisms in design had pretty much stagnated since the very early 20th century. What you had here with this gun, from one of the great firearms designers of the time, Harry Seafried, was first a totally new approach to cylinder lockup. We had a gun that locked up at the front of the frame and at the back, and that was the first time that had happened since the old triple lock Smith & Wesson of 1907, 1908 that had proven too expensive to manufacture. Yet they were able to do it in a gun that at the time was literally economy grade. It started out selling for $37.50 in the mid-1950s, just like the Ruger Standard Model 22 pistol. They were able to engineer it with really impressive accuracy. When you actually take one of those things to the bench, you'll find out it'll shoot right along with the Smith & Wesson 22 kit gun that even at the time cost a great deal more money. The action was remarkably smooth for a mass production gun designed for cheap production. Chick Gaylord set quick draw records shooting his. Elmer Keefe and many others of his contemporaries of the period praised the gun for the quality of its shootability, the quality of its action, its excellent balance. It was the first double-action revolver to come with a built-in grip adapter that was literally a part of the frame. And we would see that carried on later and more mainstream guns as we see them now, such as the Ruger Red Hawk. So there are a lot. What that gun did was basically break a log jam of stagnation in double-action revolver design. Opened the way to some of the new revolvers, certainly the Ruger double actions, the Dan Wesson with its many revolutionary features, and it had a greater impact than anybody outside the industry really seemed to realize. It's also today, because over the years it's been seen as a cheap, discontinued gun, it tends to sell at very low prices and may well be the single best buy for value in the used firearms market today.
Well, High Standard was never afraid to experiment with their revolver line. They had that Crusader 44 and 45 revolver, which I'm sure you remember, which had that geared lockwork on the hand assembly for advancing the cylinder, something that's never been successfully tried since then. And unlike the Sentinels, those have climbed right up to the top of the collectible charts. They're touching $1,000 when you can find one, and most people I know who have them refuse to let go of them. And that was just kind of one of those interesting things about High Standard. They would put it out there, and they weren't afraid to experiment at all. They had that whole line of the Posse, the Longhorn, the Natchez, all of them based on the Sentinel lockwork, and did very well with them. Now,
well, of course, today a lot of us in the industry joke about the trend toward the pink guns and the pastel guns and the dark earth-colored guns. High Standard with the Sentinel series was the first to do that. They were offered in turquoise, pink, God help us, and I believe aqua. Now, they never caught on, and as a result, they are the most collectible of the Sentinel series because so few of them were sold.
Well, it looks like Charter Arms may have taken a leaf from their book here.
Charter Arms looks like they hit their catalog with a rainbow.